Hello everyone, it is Jebro. Welcome back. Today we're talking about Amalgam because I say it wrong every damn time. But on Friday, what's the date today? It was the 8th of August, 2025. They did another deep dive of the free elite specs that came together. They're kind of releasing the information like free. Free. And it was for Ellie, Engineer, and Revenant. Now, as I've said in the last video, and most of my builds and whatnot are now on Engineer because I have a lot less time. I'm focusing today on just Engineer and all of the abilities and everything else that came with this live stream. Now, I wasn't able to watch it live because I work full time. I was very busy on Friday and I haven't seen it yet, and it's Saturday. So you're going to get my first reactions of this, as well as thinking about the different ways that this is going to be a boon to the Engineer, or whether or not it's just kind of something else, but worse or better. And this is just first impressions. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and reactions because at the end of the day, I think this really looks sick. It looks so good. So we're going to watch and listen, and I'm going to pause it and give some feedback and thoughts at the same time. So I'm literally watching this and doing it. I've not seen this yet. So yeah, let's watch. Hope you're good. Let me know what you think below in the comments as well about Amalgam. If you're excited, if you're not excited. I know in the last video I had comments of like, oh, you're saving me $40. I'm like, oh, really? They're still going to buy it. They're still going to buy the expansion. Don't lie to yourself. Anyway, okay, so we're going to play this and we're going to have a look. So don't forget, this is with Cal Cohen and Taylor Brooks. Obviously, creating all of this awesomeness. Wonderful, wonderful, legendary guys. And we're going to play. See how we go.
It is slime time.
Slime time.
Talking about the Mercurial mold, the Amalgam. Conduit was also pretty versatile. This one, I think it's got a beat in versatility. This is probably the most versatile elite spec I can think of.
We can't completely see all the things down below because of the play button, which I wish would go away. But we'll play this and just listen and see what's going to happen here. Already you can see the different... Now you can assign... Interesting. Why are there buttons here that you can assign different things? It must be the different... Okay, let's just watch it. Oh my god.
Cal's lit it in here.
This is already awesome.
You see the UI. You can see 3 blank slots. They might look familiar. They're basically like utility slots. Cal can show you the menu. Pop it up. You can pick any of those.
There's 7 skills there. Whoa, look at the R as well. That's sick. Oh, there's the hammer. Okay, this is where the hammer, sword, and the thing. So that's where those come from. Interesting. Okay.
So we have 7 more skills, 3 slots, a lot of permutations here. Before we go into what they do, we can talk about the new F5. It's going to be evolve. So if Cal hovers over it, it's just pretty simple. It says evolve.
Your attributes are increased, gain additional effects based on the morph skills you have slotted.
So this one, you're going to kind of like merge with your slime, become one, and it's going to give you bonuses based on the morph skills that you have selected in your F2 through F4 slots. So baseline, all it does is just give you a bit of an attribute increase, nothing special, but the real bonuses are going to come as we get into those morph skills.
It looks kind of cool as well, doesn't it? Someone was saying, I think in the comments below as well, you look like a Terminator from Terminator 2. Is it T-1000? I think something like that. It kind of does, but you're obviously like an actual being, so it's more. It does remind me a little bit more, a kind of ish of Venom in a way, but because you're combining yourself with like an entity, like an ooze kind of thing, which I really like that. Like a symbiote kind of thing.
Quick side note is that you can see that the F1 is still not selectable. That one is just going to be a normal healing tool belt skill. We
cool.
decided to keep it there because For one, medkit exists. A really big part of medkit is having that F1 mending heal. But
True.
another part is that we do have trait triggers based on healing tool belt slots now, and we want to keep that as something we can work with. So we didn't want you to have to decide, oh, I need this skill in this F1 slot because that's the lowest cooldown. I'm going to proc those more. We just wanted you to put where you felt comfortable putting those skills as you would utilities.
That makes sense.
But we can get into it. So the more skills are going to be divided. There are a couple defensive ones and a couple offensive ones. So the first one is going to be the defensive protocol protect. When it's used, it's just going to give you a block for a duration.
Whoa!
Pretty simple, pretty good. Having a block in your tool belt slot is, pretty powerful.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
You also see at the bottom.
That looks so cool. It's just a block of ooze. That's wicked.
Bottom of that tooltip, you have the resilience.
You've got barrier. It lasts for 1.5 seconds, so it's a solid block. And resistance. Imagine running this with a shield as well. Like, you could be a really big... Yeah, that's cool.
And strain. And these strain bonuses are what I talked about, how it's going to upgrade evolve. So you see here that resilient strain grants you a barrier.
Resilient strain. Oh, right, sorry. That is literally... Wait, I think with the F5? Wait, maybe let's just go back a sec.
Pretty powerful. But you also see at the bottom of that tooltip, you have the resilient strain. And these strain bonuses are what I talked about, how it's going to upgrade evolve. So you see here that resilient strain grants you a barrier and resistance when you evolve. So it's a pretty big barrier. This one's super defensive, as I keep saying. This one's probably the strongest defense you can get out of all of the morph skills. But that's just going to be one of the 3 bonuses you get.
So whenever you use your F5 and you use these skills, they are empowered by...
It's already pretty strong.
Whatever the thing.
Move on to the next one, though. It's going to be defensive protocol cleanse. It does what it says. It's going to cleanse you. It's going to convert damaging conditions.
Okay, convert damaging conditions to barrier and non-damaging conditions to protection. Whoa, what? That's cool. Alright, how many? Whoa, this is really strong. An engineer condition removal has always been a thing, and they've given us even more. This is cool. Whoa, damaging conditions converted free, non-damage free. So it's like things like immobilize, etc. Fears, maybe. Evolving your heat, so the replicating strain, evolving heals you over time and grants alacrity as well. Whoa, we've got alacrity there. That's nice. And it's a break stun. Holy moly. Now this is a tool belt skill. This is like a tool belt skill. This is like pulling out something from your literal tool belt, and it's actually good. Wow, that's flipping great. I'm trying not to swear. But even just the baseline of it, like the condition removal and stuff, like it makes you really be able to go into this a lot more. That's cool.
Barrier and non-damaging conditions to protection. So it's going to kind of single out both. So if you have like a lot of non-damaging on you, but some like pretty heavy damaging conditions, you'll be able to get that. This is what you want to take if you're going into like maybe a PvE fight, has a lot of conditions like career, or if you're fighting maybe like a condition conduit in competitive modes, you can take this. Its strain bonus is going to be the replicating strain. It's going to give you a heal over time and alacrity, kind of like more sustained healing bonuses. When you use that as opposed to the more...
really enjoying this whole animation as well. Like you get the sense that this ooze kind of exists still, but you aren't evolved with it in that moment of time. It just kind of comes out. I love that. It's really cool.
Immediate defensive bonuses from Protect. Good note on this skill is it's also a stun break. You're losing some of your tools, and a lot of the good ones are stun breaks. We wanted to make sure you had the options to take stun breaks with part of these more skills. And I can kind of open up even more normal utility options, because sometimes on engineer you're kind of constrained of what you could take because you need some stun breaks. But now you can maybe take utility skills that don't have a stun break tool belt, because you can get it here by selecting these specific more skills.
See, that is something that I really love in this, because I think a lot of the time with elite specs, it's like you have to take, and I know this isn't the case with Revenant, because you're very much like you have to, if you roll this legend, you don't really have much of a choice. It feels a little bit more like that. So it's like if you go into this elite spec, you have a good amount of options which feel actually viable. So you've already got protection, resilience. I mean, yeah, you do. To be fair, you got protection, you got block, you got condition removal. All of these really, like, these are solid defensive skills, and they get empowered by this F5, which is really, really fun. And it feels like you could probably play this as in its entirety without mixing into too many kits and different things. Like, obviously you're going to, but if you wanted to just play this, it looks like you could just go hard into Amalgam. Yeah, this looks... I am more excited about this than I was about Mechanist and Hollow-Smith as well, probably. In all honesty, like, this looks really fun.
The next one is going to be the last defensive one, Defensive Protocol Thorns.
It doesn't look really loud or anything right now. I mean, obviously, like, in terms of, like, you know, having this little thing next to you that plops around, or, like, you know, all of these, like, massive effects, which we haven't got to yet. But I kind of like that as well. It doesn't always have to be very loud and graphically intensified to be, like, pretty and to be cool. I want it to be like an engineer. I want it to be a very clear difference between, like, this is an engineer's elite spec and it suits them. And I think this fits into the whole alchemical kind of oh god, someone said it on a comment on the last video. It's so good. Oh, please leave comments. I love your comments and the words and the different phrases you use and the comparisons, using, like, chemicals and using, like, different kind of creatures to combine. And because, you know, being an engineer isn't just about, like, literal technology. It's about liquids. It's about, like, other entities and forms and creatures as well, like different kinds of engineering. Like, we engineer flipping vaccines, for example. Like, this is, you know, this is bringing in another part of what being an engineer is, which is what I really flipping love about this. So this is gonna be a long video.
It's also going to be a stun break. This one is more dubiously labeled a defense. It is pretty offensive in what it does. It gives you a buff that's similar.
Grow projective. Wow. Protective spikes. I am literally dyslexic as well. so I read things wrong and write things wrong. Damaging nearby enemies. For a short duration, the spikes react when you are struck. Damaging nearby enemies again. Initial damage 882. Oh, cool. This is cool. Stability. It's just for 1 second. It could be just for during, like, you notice a big CC, you just pop a stability or whatever. While evolved, strike foes an additional time when you hit them. And it's another break stun. Holy crap. I actually think that may not seem very powerful, but it is stability. And if you are also evolved, it does break stun. And it increases the damage. So it's defensive. I think this is kind of like a hybrid kind of defensive offensive thing. Like, I would be interested to see how high you can get this damage on this. Damn, okay.
Similar to, people might remember long time ago there was a boon called Retaliation.
Yes.
It did damage to people when they hit you. This one is going to be a pretty similar effect. The thorns are going to kind of react and strike when you're struck, dealing damage to enemies nearby you. Pretty important to note that this does have, like, a melee range requirement. So if there's, like, ranger rapid firing you from far away, you're not going to deal any damage to them. But if you're in the thick of it, maybe in, like, a World v World situation, getting hit a lot, this one's going to pump out a lot of damage. I was going to
say, imagine running around at, like, World v World or something. Like, just people come in and you've got a ton of, like, amalgams, and, like, you just pop your defensive cooldown, like, defensive protocol, and also go for your F5. Whoa, that's going to be sick. And kind of nuts. I feel like that could be really OP in that kind of situation. We'll see.
Notably, there is
that's fun though.
Kind of a limit to how often it will retaliate, correct?
Yes. There is a small interval, so you can't do, like, infinite damage if you're getting hit a lot, but it still does have...
That's good. A quarter second. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because otherwise it'd just be like,
strong damaging capabilities.
That would be kind of nuts, actually.
Its strain bonus is going to be the Rapacious Strain. This is similar effect to some other buffs we have in the game. When you strike foes, you're going to strike them additional time. So it's kind of like One Wolf Pack, Shattering Ice on Catalyst we have, just generating some extra damage. So this one's really, like if you want a defense, a stun break, but you don't want a full defense, still want to be offensive aggressive, maybe in PvE situations, this one's a pretty good pickup for that. But then we can move into the more offensive ones. The first one is going to be Offensive Protocol Pierce. You're going to create a spike and then jab out with it, stunning enemies. Big note.
Oh, yeah, that's so Terminator, though. That's the spike from flipping T-1000. It's so, like, it's such a mix between different things. I flipping love that.
On this one is that it is unblockable. It has a really high wind-up time, so it's pretty easy to see coming, but if an
Whoa! Holy crap! 8 stacks of vulnerability? A 2-second stun? I don't know about that. Wait, what do you mean when you evolve stun nearby enemies? Wait, AoE? Also pierces, by the way. Wait, pierces the defense of your foe because it's unblockable, not pierce as in goes through? Let's see.
Enemies like shield blocking right in front of you, and you've decided to take this skill, it can be a pretty good counter to that.
Yeah, that's a little bit
just
confusing.
Very offensively minded.
It doesn't pierce like the pierce does in Guild Wars 2, like going through a target to another target. Language on that is a bit confusing.
It is loaded with CC. Its strain bonus is going to be when you evolve, you're going to stun nearby enemies after a delay. So if Cow evolves with it on, you'll see that there's a little white circle, and after a delay, another.
Damn, that's huge.
So, you know, if you want.
That's actually huge. That's so cool.
Some break bar damage in PvE, this is the one you slot on.
Yeah, and break bar damage
a lot of
too.
combo potential as well in competitive modes.
Yeah.
See someone use some other of the offense we're going to get into.
Oof, this will make me get back into PvP maybe, actually.
Then the next one is going to be Offensive Protocol Obliterate. This is probably like the most offensive one you have. It's going to swing a giant sword. I think my direction to the artist was like, make this sword cartoonishly large. You can see a really cool streak on it. But it's going to...
I love the look of that. I love the look of that. There was a bleed.
Deal a lot of damage, deal a lot of bleeding, and it has a special mechanic that I don't think we've done before.
Condi build. Whoa! What? Whoa, this is strong, dude. What the hell? Create a giant blade to maim your enemy. I love that description. This attack destroys the barrier of enemies hit, like the full break barrier? Wait, do we have that in the game? Oh, then maybe? I don't know if that's... I don't know if we do. Maybe I've missed that. I don't remember seeing break barrier. Maybe pierce barrier or something? But 8 stacks of bleeding? Oh, that's big. Condi build. Oof, because you're like slashing them all off. Oh, it's so fun. 5 targets. Evolving improves the effect of might and grants might. So might grants increased power of... Wait, sorry, I'm just reading might. You get an extra 10 power and 10 condition damage. But you get 10 stacks of might. What? For 8 seconds? Whoa. That's kind of nuts. It is a 20-second cooldown. These are big cooldowns. I didn't actually look at the cooldowns of the others. So we'll try and notice that.
Break your enemy's barrier, so that's like
we need
all
to see the cooldown of this again, really.
Like maybe Steris and PvE that has a lot of barrier built up on it, or against a Scourge in competitive mode, you can use a skill and break their barrier before you deal the damage.
That's
nuts. Specifically really good if you know you're going to fight someone who has barrier access, but also just does a ton of damage. Its strain bonus is going to be Titanic Strain. Evolving gives you might and also increases the effectiveness of might. It's going to be like 10 might stacks and also make that might even better. So if you have 25 anyways in PvE, it's still going to juice you. Pretty good damage increase, like I said. If you're looking for damage, it's going to be the one with the most throughput there.
Damn. That is a cleaving god ability right
You should
there.
make the sword even larger.
I agree. It already is like cartoonish. Like I think when you're like a Norn, like it scales like most things do to races, and it's like incredibly big. So
I've got an engineer for every race. I think I'm gonna play the main one. Is gonna be like the one that, yeah, that could be said in a much better way than I was thinking of. That was absolute filth. Like, depending on which race you are, the bigger the sword you have. So that's fine. But I'm looking forward to playing Norn and Char.
the next one is going to be Offensive Protocol Shred. This
That's
one
the
you're
ability
going
we
to
saw in
throw
the
out
trailer.
3 discs. You saw this in the video that are going to cripple enemies, and if you hit all 3 of them, it's going to apply and immobilize.
Oh,
This one's
that's
kind
the
of a
piss.
gap closer. The spec isn't going to be as fast as Scrapper with its super speed or Hollow Smith with like.
Whoa! Look at that animation.
So this is a good like if you want to make.
Damn, that looks so sick. It looks like you're throwing like kind of shuriken stars, like a ninja. But it's not.
Sure, you're chasing enemies. This is a skill to take.
And it mobilizes.
To go along with that, its upgrade bonus is going to be the Predator Strain, just giving you.
Okay, so enemy struck or crippled. If an enemy is struck by all 3 discs, they are immobilized instead. What? That is kind of crazy. Wait. So you could do that to a big group of enemies? Because the number of targets 5. Holy crap. Yeah, because we saw it. They were all immobilized here. Evolving grants super speed and quickness? What? And it becomes a combo. And it becomes a combo finisher projectile. Physical projectile. It becomes a combo finisher when it is evolved. Damn, okay. I wonder if you could combine this with like a bomb kit, because bomb kit got a really big improvement. Like, I think that's probably what I'll do. I'll try like a bomb kit, like melee kind of amalgam, maybe. So one of the first things that are coming to mind. Obviously, there's probably going to be a grenade kit one, but that's boring. Everyone does that anyway. I'll do a bomb kit version build maybe, or maybe just mortar kit as well. But we might have some fields here, so we'll see.
Quickness and super speed when you evolve to pretty good bonuses to chase people down and deal some damage pretty fast.
That's really fun.
Then the last morph skill we have access to is going to be Offensive Protocol Demolish. This one you're going to
listen to the
swing
trailer too. Spin around a hunk of metal. All right, looks like a hammer. Then finish with a forward smash. So damage 3 times, smash damage, number of targets 5, combo finisher whirl, and blast. Nice, that's cool. Evolving grants stability and heals you based on the percentage of damage dealt to enemies. Whoa, this is like a really kind of beefy. It's interesting because it's offensive, but the evolving strain gives you stability, 5 stacks of stability as well, 8 seconds, so, which is nuts. It's really hybrid-y, kind of bruisery. Interesting if you run that with like that, the shield and like the cleansey kind of ability, and that's your survivability. That'd be sick.
Hammer around, and then at the end you're going to smash it down. Again,
The animation for this looks very cool.
This one is really focused around doing heavy AoE
Oh,
damage.
damn!
So if you're
And
trying
then
to
at
cleave a lot
the
of
end-
mobs, if you're in World v World, you want to do a lot of damage to the group in front of you, this is the skill you take. To go along with that, when you're in the cut of things, it can be kind of dangerous.
good.
So the Berserker Strain is going to give you
What?
stability and also heal from outgoing damage. So while you're doing that, you're
That's 20% healing from outgoing damage. What? That's nuts.
healing yourself, staying up, making sure you don't die while you're in the middle of things.
Wow.
The spec is, pretty much a bruiser spec. There's going to be a lot
Yeah.
of defenses baked in and a lot of ways to deal damage, especially from melee range. So everything's trying to synergize around that.
Damn.
And then,
Look at the
with
healing
all
there
those
as
in
well.
mind, you can see why Evolve is a pretty powerful button. Getting 3 of those bonuses we just went over.
There you go. Evolve is a 45-second cooldown. I think that's really important. It's kind of lengthy. Because those abilities are pretty huge. I wonder if you're going to be able to get... you can get Alacrity. I wonder if there's anywhere else where you can get Alacrity here. Because I feel like the Alacrity for the evolve on one of the abilities which gave you alacrity, I think it was the evolve, will be kind of important to this potentially.
Whatever you want, customizing it for the situation makes it a pretty good cooldown to have. It's really like a go time button. You're gonna press that and people are gonna be scared.
Absolutely. It's nuts.
That kind of covers the general way you're going to play with profession mechanics. We can move into the utilities, which are going to be stances.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts, actually.
Important to hydrate. But the heal is going to be mitotic state. You're going to command your cells to to separate, regenerate. It's going to heal you over time pretty rapidly when you use it. And then it's got a little hook that is going to increase its effectiveness while you have barrier. As Cal's been pressing the skills, you can see that you're getting some barrier when you get more skills, so it's pretty easy to trigger that. We'll get into that when we talk about the traits. But this one, it's not going to give you like a burst heal.
Bit confusing. Your slime stimulates your cells to regenerate. By the way, whoever's writing these little tooltips, I flipping love this. Flipping love the description. The healing is increased while you have barrier. Okay. Increase of barrier is 20%. Healing is 7,625. Rapidly heal over time, 5 seconds. Didn't look like you healed very fast.
Like you normally do. It's going to be a heal over time. And so it's kind of vulnerable to pressure. If people are hitting you while it's healing, they're going to break your barrier pretty fast. So you're going to lose out on that. You might not get the, direct healing that you might get from like an AED or like.
It's going to be interesting because you don't get much barrier from a ton of different places. There's the alchemy trait line, which is the one which pops up the most in terms of like you get a little bit of barrier from like an automatic use elixir, I'm pretty sure. I think it was C. I can't remember. I need to go through and remind myself of where you get barrier from. But yeah, I think it really depends on the mode you're in, right? Like in PvP, this might not be amazing unless you get a lot of access to barrier, and I guess we're going to see that in the traits anyway. But I like kind of a heal over time. We don't really have anything like that. I mean, I guess in terms of like regeneration, maybe when you pop out like a healing turret, etc. But I kind of like that. That's different because it gives you that. It really is thematic, right? Like it's regenerating your cells, which is very like it's a cool. It fits the description and it fits. Yeah, it's great. I like the name as well. Mitotic state.
The normal elixir heal, but it is a pretty strong heal over time, so really good sustain benefit.
Cool.
But then talk about the heal. We can talk about his healed tool belt.
There you go. Okay, and you gain barrier at the same time and magnetic aura. So even though it's a heal over time, it's still got this magnetic aura, which is 4 seconds. That is considerable. Wait, is there no evolve on that toolbar skill? Doesn't look like it.
Because you don't get a morph in that slot. It's going to be symbiotic shielding. It's going to be instant cast, give you barrier mag aura.
Whoa! What? That's 12,500 barrier, 9,029 health there.
Pretty good defensive cooldown. Get that barrier to trigger the healing. Magnetic aura, as we talked about. Not a lot of range or mobility in the kit, and so having that little counter pressure to use just instantly is a pretty good thing to have in the kit.
Holy Jesus.
Then we can go on to the just normal utilities. There's going to be 4 of them based on the states of matter. You saw liquid state in the video, and it's like super cool, but there are also other ones. The first one we're going to talk about is solid state. That one is...
Okay, leap into the air as you command your body to compact, stunning enemies upon landing, gain stability and increase your outgoing stun durations. Whoa! There's so much synergy in this. It's flipping great. That's a big range as well, 600. Well, not big, but like, it's just a nice range. A lot of this fits well with bomb kit, actually, honestly. Outgoing stun duration increased. It's a blast as well.
Is going to be a CC ability. You're going to leap up in the air, harden yourself, give yourself some stability, and then you're going to crash down, stunning enemies.
That is like the hammer 5 on warrior animation, I think. Is it fire? No. Is it hammer? Oh, or is it guardian? I don't think it's guardian. It's something.
Then you're going to get a buff for a little bit that increases outgoing stun duration. So
Look at the stability on that.
Pierce we talked about. If you have Throw Mine, if you have Hammer on, just a few
remember, like he's just popping this off. Like there's no cooldown, so that the stacks of stuff. Like don't like the boons and stuff. Don't always pay too much attention to that because he's just using it over and over.
This,
so you saw it get to 10 stacks. Obviously, that's not the case. And there's a 25-second cooldown on that as well. So
you know, getting stability and stunning people, pretty strong,
pretty nice
thing to have. Really good initiation tool.
Looks great.
Next one we can talk about liquid state. You're gonna melt down into a puddle. Most importantly,
you can move
while being a puddle.
Oh wow!
In that state, you're gonna deal damage around you, kind of ticking.
What the hell? Poison? Oh my god, that is so cool. How long's the evade?
And poisoning people that stand on top of you, crippling them, making sure they don't have much mobility. But this one's gonna be kind of a
what? Quickly melt down into a bottle, evading all incoming attack. Poison, cripple, 4 stacks, 5 targets, and evade for 1 3/4 seconds. That is amazing.
Short defensive cooldown mostly.
So good
you're gonna evade while you're under there.
I mean, it looks alright.
So it's gonna be a shorter duration than something like Elixir S, but it's also gonna have a lower cooldown, be a bit more usable, and also
what's the cooldown? 20 seconds. Okay.
Keep up some pressure while you're.
We don't know the traits they've got on, so it might not be 20 seconds. Damn, that's cool.
Then the next one is going to be gaseous state. You will sublimate.
Sublimate breaking stun, remove movement impairing conditions, and prevent their application. It's unique per skill mode. Okay. This reminds me of the trait in... It was Mecha Legs. Interesting. Almost like they put the trait into the old trait, maybe? I can't remember what the new trait. Oh no, Mecha Legs gave you movement speed as well.
Word. Breaking stuns. And then you're also going to remove movement impairing conditions and prevent their reapplication.
That's cool.
Kind of like...
It kind of looks like you're fighting though. I wonder if that's what it is supposed to be. It would be better if you turned into a gaseous state. Although I guess you couldn't do anything then.
In a gassy, airy state, so how can people immobilize you? You're not going to be completely incorporeal, like maybe mist form, but you are going to be a bit hard to hit, so this has a little...
Right, okay. It would be weird if they made it like a misty form, because it would just be like elementalist and people would moan.
A little bit of a new mechanic, where incoming strikes against you are going to be glancing blows. So it's basically like as if anyone that hit you had a weakness on them. So can't be crits, really good damage reduction tool. Not completely invulnerable, you can still be CC'd during this. But again, pretty good defensive cooldown.
Nice. That's cool.
Then the last one is going to be Plasmatic State. This one is going to be the most offensive option you have. You're going to strike out twice, giving yourself a pretty good damage buff, and also doing heavy damage from the strikes themselves.
Superheat your body and lash out, damaging and burning enemies struck. Your outgoing strike and condition damage is increased. So there's a big condition and power damage, or even just like celestial. Oh god, I don't like saying that celestial would work with this, but it would. But Viper as well, obviously. Runes and whatnot. 4 stacks of burning damage. Oh wow. Targets 5, range 300. It's pretty close, which makes sense.
This is a pretty high modifier, so usually you want to stack it, you want to evolve, and then use this, stack all your damage multipliers. I think in PvE, the spec is going to have a more bursty damage profile, where you're going to want to save your cooldowns for when you have evolve up, and stack all of them at once, get a really high damage burst off. So managing those cooldowns is going to be kind of important. And then competitive modes, this one is going to be, if you want just more damage from the kit, this is a pretty good button to have.
Yeah.
Then lastly, we can talk about the elite.
Let's go.
It's going to be Flux State. You're going to kind of command your slime to swirl around you, creating a magnetic field. You're going to initially pull people in and then create like a storm of those like spiky metal things you see going on. It's going to take damage and apply bleeding. So pretty good control thing to start with, and then as you pull enemies in, there's going to be a storm
in the world if multiple people pop that off. Pull in nearby enemies. Whoa, Storm Bleeding up to 12 stacks. It's a pull, a short range pull. Really nice for condition damage builds then. This is very much feels like condition damagey. Or again, hybrid. Damn.
Elite skill, again, pretty good to have up when you're bursting things. Simple what you want out of the slot. That kind of covers all the utilities, so we can move into the traits here quickly.
Love the artwork, by the way. Really nice.
Yep, the first one is going to be Experimental Union, explains what the spec does. That's, can move on to the first interesting one. Is going to be Hybrid Vigor. You're going to gain vitality, and then this is where the barrier was coming from as Cal was pressing the skills. Gain barrier when using more skill. This one's kind of built in sustain, kind of the heat therapy equivalent of this spec. Doesn't give vigor, so maybe it's like an unplayable thing, but hybrid vigor is like a biology term, so get educated, I guess. Then we move to the next minor is Willing Host. This one,
he's got so much more confidence.
A damage increase again, kind of like the
it's so good. It's so good to see how developers evolve as just people. Like he's got so much confidence, and he's got a lot more humor. And in these streams of that, as they've evolved, they're such great guys as well. But like, it's just really nice to see their own personality come out in a more confident way when they started doing this. When they've been doing this for a while. It's pretty cool.
When you use it, it's not going to stack duration. It's going to reset duration. So it's a bit of an incentive.
Using a morph skill increases your damage for a duration.
To spread out your cooldowns to make sure you always have this buff up. You don't want to maybe slam all your morph skills at once and then run out of the damage bonus. You want to make sure you have spread them out so you can, make sure that buff is always on you, getting the most value out of it. Then going to the adept tier. This tier is kind of a theme. They're all going to be defensive. None of them are going to give you a damage bonus.
Stainless steel. Convert conditions to boons when you use a stance skill or evolve. Nice. That's really cool. Damn.